Welcome to UWS Weekly, a show that is dedicated to covering United Women's Soccer, a national pro-am league with your host, Jonathan Ward. Each and every week, we will highlight players, supporters, and staff of the clubs we all pride ourselves to support in North America. The UWS is a league that is committed to advancing women's soccer. Good morning, soccer fans. Welcome to UWS Weekly, a show for the greatest semi-pro soccer league in North America, the United Women's Soccer League. I'm your host, Jonathan Ward, and I'm excited today to have an opportunity to talk to one of our clubs representing the Western Conference in FC Arizona. FC Arizona, located outside Phoenix. Today, we'll be talking with our head coach, Tara Koleski, who's going to give us some insight into not just the club, but the development of players as well as their youth programs that they have. So joining me today, Tara Koleski. Good morning, Tara. How are you?
Hey, John. Thanks for having me.
No worries. I appreciate you taking the time. I know it's bright and early out in Arizona and probably already hot. You never know what the weather is going to bring out there. But so far, how's everything going post-season from the 2023 Summer of Soccer?
Yeah, we're starting to kind of rev up again, and all of our players, they head back to college or pro teams abroad, and some are still involved in the youth side. So we're really focusing on our youth right now, and then in the next couple of months, we'll start recruiting and bringing those players back from college and getting those commitments.
Yeah, talking about those commitments from previous 2 years. This is your third year now in UWS. 2022, you guys finished with a record of 4-6, and this year in 2023, 4-4. What were some of the expectations for the team coming into the 2023 season?
Well, we always want to improve and represent FC Arizona the best that we possibly can, and even our state, FC Arizona. We have a lot of great colleges in Arizona, Division I. We have Grand Canyon, ASU, U of A, NAU. We have players that represent those universities on our squad, but we also have really good NAIA schools in Arizona. So we seem to tap into the best of the best. We also have Embry-Riddle, which is top, one of the top in the nation. So we get a lot of players from there, and a good representation across the whole state. And then with FC Arizona players that participate in DPL or other ECNL players across the valley.
So in 2022, we talked a little bit about the start. What was some of the differences that you noticed from year one to year two as it related to kind of the style of play and potentially the style of play of other teams in the league?
Yeah, the West Conference is pretty tough. We have FC Blue Heat, which has some amazing players. They bring in national team players, and the Thompson sister duo, who are now in the NWSL. Canada's always a tough trip. There's great players in Canada. And that trip alone is taxing on the players, getting in, playing, and then coming back. But it is a really professional level, in my opinion, the stadiums that we play in, the experience that the girls get when they go to Canada and that international type match. So I think it was really good in year one to understand what the expectations are of the league and that professionalism. And we were able to prepare the girls in year two a little bit more for what to expect and the level. Saying we're playing FC Blue Heat and then getting on the field, there's not a lot that you can say or do in prep for that, because it's just a whole other level that some of these players are playing, and it's beyond college. Like if we put an NAIA player on the field and they're playing against Giselle Thompson or Alyssa Thompson, there was not a lot of prep for that. It was just like, wow, okay, this is it. We've arrived.
So, I mean, it's tough, right? When you get those kind of players, especially players from USC, UCLA, who were coming off a national championship over there. But your home record is solid. I think you guys at home have only lost one match in 2 years. What is the testament? Is it the crowds that come out? Is it the community? Is it just the comfort of playing at home? What are some of the highlights behind that home record?
Yeah, there's always an advantage playing at home. Everyone has their friends and family, and especially for some of our older players where they're past college now. And so now they're coming back and they're senior players and they're playing in front of their families, maybe for the last time. But we do have a lot of support in our community and FC Arizona community. to make home matches pretty spectacular. And it's that pride. We can't lose at home. And it is a great place, a venue that we have for competition. And so we always get some fans out there beating the drums or launching smoke bombs and things. So it is a fun environment with a lot of kids from FC Arizona.
That's awesome. Speaking of kind of those moments, what are some of the more memorable moments for you as a club, as a coach, but also within the clubbing community?
I think it was beating FC Blue Heat this year. That was pretty much it. No, but on a serious note, we really pride ourselves on that mentorship and giving back to the community. And so we have all of our players throughout the season doing camps. We have them involved in book readings within the community. We've brought out children from foster care out. And so a part of our policy is they don't have to pay to play, but they do have to be part of the community within that season. And so I like to see the impact that these older players coming in, and even players like Callie Ferguson, who played in the NWSL Houston Dash, came back, played for us this season. Girls never get a chance to see NWSL here in the Valley because we don't have a team. And so to see the players at this level and bringing players that we have in our conference to Arizona is amazing for young women in our community.
As coaches, we're always learning or adjusting to the previous year, the previous match. You've been at this for a while now as a coach, just at the UWS, but also with the club. What are you learning about yourself on this journey as a coach?
Well, I'm definitely taking some of the, I guess, the needs that we have at the higher level that are not being met. So technically, I do feel like we're behind. And so we go back after the summer and with our youth, and we really emphasize on that. The ability to play quickly. What does that next level look like? And what are the basic skills that we need to imprint in our youth to get to that next level? And so really from the grassroots up, we're trying to build, but at the higher level, I just keep learning to be flexible. I always tell the girls, be prepared for anything in UWS. Tactical changes, positional changes. We have to be able to be flexible. We have not arrived, on the scene like a Blue Heat team. So we have to be able to make changes. And we were tactically this season against Blue Heat. They came back with a vengeance though. And so, and when we went to Blue Heat, so it was, we thought we already did it, and we weren't prepared for what could happen the next time. So it was a good learning lesson for sure.
Yeah, you go home, you poke the bear. You poked the bear, it seemed like, and the bear came out at home. Wasn't able to replicate on the road. Quite different though. If you're coming from, let's say, Calgary, or you're coming from LA, and you're playing at night, it's a little different. I know you guys try to do your best to make it as close as possible to where it cools off, but it has to be hot at some point to where it's like a home field advantage, right?
Yeah, I think our heat is an advantage in Arizona because in the summer it's 100 and it's 120 on the turf. So definitely Calgary coming to us is an advantage for us. The LA teams, they're pretty much used to it, but it's still always nice to have that heat, and we're for sure used to it.
A good friend of mine, Troy Flannery, would say he would go to other places and the grass would be super high, and he'd bring a ruler to check the size of the blades. Do you guys do anything like that for yourselves as it relates to potentially watering down the turf to kind of make it a little cooler for not just the other opponents, but also for you guys?
Honestly, I wish we had that capability. I don't even think that we have hoses out there that could reach the turf. So we do not have that luxury. We're still playing one of our venues is a high school. And it's just survival of the fittest at this point.
Nice.
These are the circumstances. We tell our kids to hydrate. We have other things on the sidelines, electrolytes. But the prep is definitely different in this kind of heat.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I haven't been down to Arizona. That's a goal to get down there because I've heard the golf courses are extremely nice and catch some soccer. But One of the other things, you had a player who came over from the Athenians, and you guys have players also in your own programs. It has to feel special for you to see your players that are moving on to represent Guam or be able to go play in Denmark or China. Tell us about the players and what it means as a coach to see these players move on, and who's next.
Yeah, so we definitely pride ourselves on meeting the players where they're at, whether they are a youth player heading off to college and they want to make an impact in their freshman year, or whether they're coming back from college and we need to return them to their college coaches better, ready for that next season. But we do have a lot of players that are graduating college, and we are managing to get them contracts in first division. So we had 3 players go over to Austria this season, and they have extensions to their contracts as well. One of our players played in the Asian Games for Guam, and we have 2 playing in Greece. So it's nice to see. We have one that is actually in Bayern Munich. And so there is a lot of options out there for young women. And now the NWSL is starting to add more teams into that league, but it is great to hear the stories for some of these players that never thought it was possible for them to go and play. And now because of UWS, these doors have opened up with some of the scouts that we work with. And now they're coming back to us even better with more experience.
So they are, once they're done with their regular season, they come back to stay fresh. Do you use that? Do they use you guys as an advantage to kind of get them up to speed or focus on things that they need to improve that their coaches are explaining to them?
Yes. So we do get a lot of different types of players coming to us throughout the summer. We have gotten players that are on reserve squads in NWSL, and they've come and they've trained with us. We have a hard time getting them clearance because they have that professional team that they're playing on, and they're not able to transfer that. But the training environment is what I think better than a lot of even Division I environments, because we're mixing this group of players from professional players to international national team players. And, it's awesome to see. And so they're all using it as a training ground to improve into their next step. We're just lucky in UWS that during that summer, it's usually a break for colleges and pro teams that they come back to Arizona, train with us, and go back.
Catherine Weatherall took home all first team honors again for the second year in a row. What is she bringing to the team each and every year? And who else should we be looking at going forward for 2024?
Oh, for sure. She's been amazing. She played at Marquette. She's one of the players that is in Austria right now. She is just amazing on the ball. She plays multiple positions for us. I think she looked at me quite puzzled when I put her as an outside mid this year. She can play a 7 or 11, and usually she's a center mid. She's played a 6. I play the players all over the field, and so she was definitely well versed going over to Austria, where she also had to play a number of different positions. But she's a spectacular person and player, was instrumental in Austria. We hope to have her back, but she might be going to Costa Rica to play. And so, sometimes we do lose some of those players because they get contracts and they continue to develop in those leagues.
Taking a break real quick from some of these questions, we gotta make a plug for the United Soccer Coaches Convention, the countdown to the pinnacle of soccer learning. This year, it is in Anaheim, not far from you, Tara. And it isn't just an event, it's an experience. I've been the last 2 years being lucky enough to go to represent UWS in both Philadelphia and Kansas City. This year, we're going to see Leonard Griffin, who's the Cal men's coach, Carla Thompson, who's with the San Diego Wave FC, and Randy Waldrum, who's the head coach of the Nigerian national team. Countdown for this. If you're looking to go, if you're in Arizona, LA, Sacramento, use promo code UWS24 for a special offer of $425 for that. Prices actually go up tomorrow. So this is the last day. Ooh, special guest.
Yes.
No worries. This is the last day for that. Prices will go up tomorrow. But in the meantime, Tara, we're going to show a quick video of the convention, and then I'm going to ask you some questions regarding your experiences with it. Let's go. So, Tara, in your experience going to these conventions the last few years, what are some of the things that you are taking away and learning from them?
Well, I'm gonna probably show my age here. I've been going for the last 23 years to these conventions. It used to be NSCAA, and I have just loved it as a coach. One, I think you learn so much just networking with other coaches around the United States and the world that come. There's a lot of different levels of coaches that come. The field sessions are my favorite because I think you can always, steal a little piece of information from other coaches and use it as your own. But I love to stay modern in the game and progressive. So I think these are great opportunities for coaches, not only to integrate and talk with other coaches, but just as a learning tool for yourself.
Yeah, definitely the field sessions for me are always the winner. I know a couple of my colleagues who've done the licensing or the certification courses, but I really love the live sessions and even going around to the booths at the where they have all the new gear is always fun because you can always find some good swag that I didn't even know existed at one time.
Yeah, I wish they had that when I was playing.
I mean, well, NL Tactical, the boards that they have, I don't know if you've been able to check those out, but I've got the big one is in my office here as the high school coach. So I've got one of those that I'm using every day, and the kids are like, "Ward, it's just too much. It's just too much." So it's a thing. Listen, you got tryouts around the corner to prepare for the 2024 Summer of Soccer. What kind of players are you looking to add to this mix, especially as I know you guys have some high expectations headed into year 3?
Yeah, we always look for players that are technically sound as just a basic, but I like having players that are tactically savvy. We do change our team changes the system within a match one, two times, even maybe three, to try and control the tempo of the game. So that's hard for a lot of players these days because they're very used to one system, one position. That's it. They don't get that with us. They get a little bit more versatility, but I just want players that are going to come in and work. Our training environment has to take players from the summer to their next step, their next team for that season and prep them for that. And so if they're not willing to come and work and train and be committed through the summer, we won't take them.
So come ready is what you're saying.
Yeah.
How has the UWS side of things helped the club grow the game in Arizona since it began?
Well, I think that in the Arizona landscape, we have some clubs that are in other leagues that we've participated in ourselves, WPSL, and we did not feel it was this high of level. We didn't travel outside really of the state of Arizona. We didn't face players that have former Olympic experience or that international experience as we do here in UWS, and just the league, the venues that we're at, the experience of having an international match, even in Canada, and the type of players that our players get to be on the field with, they cannot do that at the college level even. So I'm just appreciative of what our younger players are able to see. And come every match, they're watching the best of the best soccer, in my opinion, with players from all over the region that come from all over the United States or world. We support bringing international players in and housing them in the summer. So I think for young women, we're putting soccer at a high level in front of our young girls. And I just always hope that mentorship motivates them in their own career.
Definitely. I think one of the things that I noticed from clubs is the draw, right? Kids starting to be wanting to be like player X or player Y as they watch them on the pitch. I've seen it in Sacramento with some of our UWS League Two with Sac United, and some of our other clubs. But just the ability to see these players and kind of I can be that, or I can do that, or I can play here, I think really sets a precedent for growth in a club, especially clubs that are expanding and growing with FC Arizona. You guys hosting tournaments and playing in those showcases definitely kind of brings light to more clubs, which is awesome.
Yeah, I look forward to UWS, and I know the league's adding teams this year. And so we're excited to be part of it. It's been a great experience for us and our players. We really have about 70 players throughout the summer that come into our roster. So we have to be doing something right.
Yep, everything's going right because players are coming. They want to be a part of FC Arizona from all around the country and even parts. I'm sure you're going to see some more players from of Spanish culture coming from Mexico or Central America who are coming up, trying to get that opportunity once the league stops down there. So who knows? Maybe you pick up some players, former UWS players who are closer to getting back to their teams down there.
Yeah, that's part of the recruitment this spring, is really to connect with more La Liga teams. We are really close to the border, so that's our hope. We're the closest UWS team, to that border. So hopefully we can draw a little bit more there.
What should fans be excited about or look forward to this coming summer? Is there anything new coming out or opportunities for athletes or the community?
Well, we always do camps in the summer and they're always free. And so our goal is to invite as many kids in the community, doesn't matter what club you're part of, to come and meet the women and get on the field with these women. It's really unlike anything else, where you can get top Division I players from various universities speaking to players. They can talk about an NAI experience, a Division I, Division II, international experience, national team. So there really isn't another environment to have all those players at one location, training girls for free. So I think that's something to look forward to. Just keep an eye out on FC Arizona calendar for those clinics. And we do them, every week throughout the season for young girls.
I asked this before in one of our other opportunities to speak live. What does community mean to you, Tara?
For me now in this position, it's more of a responsibility. Our community in Arizona, we have a lot of colleges in a close area. And I think providing young players, a chance to see that higher level. Sometimes it's untouchable. When I was a young player, I didn't see women's soccer because there was no professional women's soccer. I had male role models. And now for me and our community to have access to so many young, professionals that have had the opportunity to play, I think that is a responsibility for me to continue to connect those dots and make it accessible for these kids, hopefully to motivate them. And maybe it was just because I didn't have access when I was younger. So we try to build that community and have a little bit of sense of pride with FC Arizona, and our numbers continue to grow at our matches. So I think this season we'll have the same environment.
Well, hopefully we are able to carry on and have a good home record like has been the case the last 2 years, and maybe transfer some of that to the road. But before I let you go today, I've got to put you on the hot seat. It's one of the things we do. Our friends at BinoBoard.com, the greatest flick game in the world. Always love to have an opportunity to throw some questions at our coaches or our partners in the community that come on. So they've thrown some questions together that they wanted to ask you. Courtesy of Nick. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Nick, but he does live in Phoenix, so he's right around the corner. But his first question was favorite non-soccer activity.
Ooh, if anyone knows me, I'm a big horse girl. And so I am with my horses quite often. And so that would be my number one activity. Anytime I can get out riding, I'm with the horses.
All right, so equestrian style, or do we do bareback? What is the go-to for you?
Actually, I just did bareback yesterday for the first time. I was, kind of holding my breath, hoping not to get thrown off. But no, I love to Western ride, and I love to trail ride with horses. We just had a little baby who's now 5 months old, a colt. Nice. So it's fun for me and my boys to be out there with the horses.
Favorite. What was it? What did you write? Hold on, I gotta look at what he had in there. Go-to seasoning on your food. What is the go-to seasoning on your food?
Oh, I'm not sure if it's appropriate to say, but I swear it exists. It's this spice you can get up north in Arizona, and it's called aw shit.
Fair enough.
It's made by a farmer, and it is my favorite.
It's the way to go.
It is.
As a coach, normally we don't listen. We're stuck with the locker room music that's in there. But if you were able to choose, what is your favorite pre-match song to get you ready to coach 90 minutes?
um, oh, I'm so old school. I'm a big country fan, but I will go back to Journey anytime. So, any Journey song, pretty
All right.
much.
Okay. So if your players are watching, they know not to give you the
Oh,
plug, right? The aux
no,
cable's not go to coach, but we'll figure it out.
no, they
Sarah,
will not let me control the radio.
I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time to talk to everybody about FC Arizona and a little bit about what the team is doing, getting ready for the season. I know you got a lot to do today and also to prepare for the far travel that it's going to be to Anaheim for the coaches convention. But we at UWS really appreciate FC Arizona and everything you do. And hopefully we're able to get down to a match this summer and see what FC Arizona brings to the table.
That'd be awesome. Thanks, John, and thank you,
Thanks.
UWS. It's been great.
We'll talk soon.
All right, bye.